email this to me?
Okay, maybe I
Yeah,
convert
okay,
this
okay.
to
Now, okay.
PDF.
Now, okay, it's okay. Now it's open. Let me
Okay.
share this. How do I share this? Okay, let me share. Okay, one of the supervisors
Yeah.
of Abdul Bakar, Dr. Abdul, asked me to record. I forgot to record just now. Okay.
I
I
already
received
recorded,
this.
sir. I
Okay.
already record, and
Okay.
I will give you the recording.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. This is framework of smart banya to senior microlearner. Okay. Now, in terms of the title, okay, the title looks unique. Okay. The title looks unique because there
Okay.
is a uh, because it's clear that you want to produce a framework, okay, and it is the scope, the areas is micro enterprise activities in Bali to synergize micro enterprise activities in Bali. Okay, now one thing that I think that you need to actually review the title is that your PhD is in information technology, right?
Yep.
We need within the name of the title something relates to technology.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, so perhaps uh, your title, okay. Now to synergize the micro enterprise activities is by incorporating technology, right?
Yeah. Adoption of technology,
Okay. So
ICT.
so perhaps you can think of later on, okay? Try to review your title so that it has some additional keywords such as adoption of technology and so on
Yeah. Yeah.
within the title itself, so that
Yeah.
because if I am to look into this title now, it seems that this is like business or entrepreneurship rather than
Okay, sir.
IT. Okay, so try to include that. Okay, now that is the
Yeah.
title. Now the problem statement, 70% of what is PAD?
Uh, Local government revenue. Our
Okay.
provincial government revenue, 70% just from in the tourism industry.
Okay. When you put in the slide, because sometimes let's say that we have some terms in
Okay.
bahasa Indonesia,
Yeah.
Badan Pusat Statistik Provinsi Bali. Okay, this is the actual name. Okay,
Yeah.
you can actually have a very close translation to that.
Okay. Okay.
For example, like Badan Pusat Statistik is that
Sir.
statistical center of the province of Bali and so on. Sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
that kind of to, or even the PAD. Okay, PAD is original local government. Is it? So meaning that what does it mean? Because we have no idea what PAD is. Okay.
PA. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay. What is the problem?
These the terms that I want to combine.
Uh, okay. Is it possible? Okay. Now, if the problem is actually just this, okay, meaning that does not have a program, does not have initiative. Now, this PhD, because actually the main bulk of our research is supposed to be in IT. Okay,
Yes.
and how does this relate? Because adoption of information technology is part of IT, the process of adoption. So can you actually refocus your problem statement towards that there is a lack, okay, there is a lack of adoption
Yes.
of information technology or of
Yes.
technology, okay, to allow for the whatever it is, the problem it is. Okay, see?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I'm stating is that in the
Lack
problem
adoption of
statement,
IT.
readjust the focus so that it will go to the IT part. To IP part. So
Yeah.
meaning that you can start that what is the problem? The problem is that okay, in your community, okay, in the Banjar structure, okay, there is a lack of technology adoption to facilitate, okay, to facilitate or to enhance the process of collaboration between micro enterprises and micro finances and so on. And as a result of that, meaning that there are lots of potential that cannot be realized.
Yeah.
So the focus is more of, you see that what you want to highlight is that there is still lacking of technology adoption. And you believe that if you can adopt technology within a proper structure and framework, it will somehow will enhance the process of all this collaboration between micro enterprises and the people within the Banja structure, okay, can benefit
Yes.
from this adoption of technology. So I think that is one thing that if you can try to readjust towards that. The points are all here. Okay? Can you get
Yep.
this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Uh, this is recorded, right?
Your screen is switched.
Did you see this? Are you seeing this slide? No?
Yes, I see. Yes, I see.
Okay. So of course this is recorded. You can go back to see what's we have discussed. So we need the adoption of technology to be here. Okay. This is no problem, but I don't see technology here. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, the banja. Okay, what is the problem? The banja microfinance and microfinance do not synergize to solve the property. Okay, do not adopt, do not adopt the relevant technology, and do not have the appropriate framework to solve the problem. So the problem
Okay.
is that they cannot synergize. Okay, and adoption of technology is one of the important factors for you to be able to synergize all this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so focus on the adoption of technology.
Yeah.
Okay, the Banja micro enterprises, microfinance, micro enterprises.
That's
Can we have in this technology somewhere, perhaps?
yes. In
Some
the middle
in the
of
middle, so meaning
the
that
yeah.
if somehow you can enlarge, okay, you can enlarge this part where it intersects, okay,
Can you
using,
next slide, sir? Prof?
yes,
Can you next slide? Next slide.
okay, next slide.
After this slide. Yeah.
Okay, smart banja, okay, okay, this is good. Okay, this is what I'm thinking of. Okay, this part meaning that if we can enlarge this part, meaning that there is more collaboration
Yeah.
and the adoption of technology can facilitate this adoption,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it will actually have better collaboration. So I think this is good. This is a good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
This is the 6
Okay.
areas.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to make what you doing in your
Yes,
PhD,
yes,
sir.
yes. Okay. What's ABC?
ABC is the areas.
Okay. Is it possible for you to actually similar uh, similar to what Abu Bakar is doing right now, is that he
Okay.
is looking into the literature to identify how what are the challenges and how is the technology being adopted. Okay, can you
The challenges.
okay, meaning that this is part of the one of the things before you are able to propose a framework for the adoption of technology to enhance this banjar, the micro enterprise, microfinance structure, and so on. Can you actually look into existing literature or perhaps some reports and so on to identify what kind of technology adoption structure that exists currently within this banjar, or is it none? No at all, none at all.
Yes.
What kind of IT infrastructure or IT framework that supports the micro enterprises, okay, within your area, within the banjar structure, so that it has good collaboration with all this microfinancing and so on. So
Yeah.
you need to actually look into. So this will be very important to suggest, to support that the adoption is still very limited. To say that
Okay.
we will never say that there's no adoption,
Yeah.
but what we can say that is very limited. It's very limited. So this will actually, when we show that this is very limited, so this will actually be the basis of your argument why you want to come up with your framework, because you want to expand the use of IT. You want to expand the adoption of IT. But when you expand the adoption of IT, we cannot just go and buy, okay, let's buy new network, you buy new laptop and so on. But it must come together with the proper framework so that
Yeah.
this particular technology investment will be will be fully beneficial to those stakeholders there. Not just we say that, oh, we buy so many things, but at the end of the day we are not using all these things. It does not benefit anyone. So that's why this is where your framework comes in. How do you adopt all these different technologies? What do you do to the people? Because again, when we call a top adoption, it's not just about buying things. It is
Yeah.
also that what kind of how do you get people to change so that it will benefit. You see sekarang ni like penjarakan social, okay, social
Yeah.
distancing.
The
It's
social
not
distancing.
just you wear mask and so on. You know, the way we actually, the way we live also changes. You know,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
we cannot actually be close to each other,
Yeah.
and we need to change our ways. So your framework actually needs to be able to suggest the necessary changes to the banjar structure. So there are things, the way that they do business for the, especially for the micro enterprises, needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are the things that do. Okay, so my recommendation is that try to find in the literature, okay, what sort of IT adoption is being currently being implemented in the banjar structure for the benefit of micro enterprises.
Sorry,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Can I ask, just in the Banja structure and micro enterprise, or and in microfinance too, or subset of that? Because in its areas,
Mm.
I try to find the journal paper
Okay.
that's related to implementation of IT.
Okay.
In the Banjar structure areas, in the micro enterprise area,
Okay.
microfinance area, Banjar and micro enterprise, and so on. I
Uh-uh.
try to search the IT terms in the paper.
Okay. You can find, but maybe you can find many papers. Maybe there's not many papers. Doesn't matter. What's important now is that you
Yeah,
need to try to find first.
yeah,
Okay, and then based on your findings, you will identify that okay, if let's say that there's not many articles or
yeah,
reports written about the IT adoption. So perhaps you can make a conclusion that it seems that under the existing situation now, IT, although it's not much, there's not much research done.
yeah,
Okay, in
yeah,
terms of how it is being adopted in the Banja structure. And
yeah.
this is
Okay,
where you can justify, okay, now because you see, after searching, there's not many. So now what I'm doing that I am filling the void, filling the gap. There is a big hole
yeah,
in this area. So now I'm trying to actually incorporate this within the Banja structure.
yeah,
And what you can do as a comparison tool, okay, is that let's say that you don't find many things. Okay, perhaps you can have a look at some other perhaps advanced countries. I give you a recommendation. Go try to look for like in Sweden, Scandinavian, Sweden, Finland, all this.
yes,
Okay, they have many small enterprises. How does this more advanced society, okay, be able to use technology to actually to enhance or to benefit their micro enterprises?
yes, yeah,
So if you can look for, I'm just suggesting, yeah, Scandinavian or perhaps some in Europe. I'm not sure whether in Korea or so on. You can make a comparison. Now, see, this is in Bali. See, not much of
yeah,
technology adoption. Now, you can see this is in Sweden, Scandinavia, in West Europe, or perhaps in some East Asian countries. There are
yeah,
lots of technology input that can enhance the small enterprises. We are talking about small enterprises. And by comparison, you will see that, you see, there is lots of potential, but this is what you are trying to do. So you can have some sort of comparison to
yeah, yeah.
suggest.
Comparison.
Yeah. And even, when you actually look into the literature based on what others have done, okay, because I see uh, some of your literature, you see, Raisinen and Tuvinen. This is like Finnish, Finland. The name is like the authors is from Finland.
Yeah,
Raisinen and Tuvinen. This is Finnish name. Okay. Perhaps that the adoption that has been identified by them, you can actually take this
yes,
as part of your components, elements that you can consider to be implemented under the Banja structure.
yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the possibilities. But doesn't mean that you will actually have everything you can implement, because the Bali is different, because the level of
Yeah,
development Bali is different, the culture is different, okay, and even the mentality of the people is
yeah,
different. So basically, you must take into consideration these different elements, these external things. So this is part of the literature that you can actually include. So what you can do is that you can also have a look. Okay, now I presume that most of this is based on the existing literature related to Indonesia, right? No,
Not
no,
at all.
not at all.
Uh, some about from India.
Ah, okay, that's good. So basically, okay, so you can actually try to look. Okay, doesn't mean that just developing countries. You can also have a
Yes,
look.
developing country also.
uh, you can, okay, you can look into what you have, and of course from time to time you can add more. Remember that doesn't literature review
Yeah,
is not just, oh, the first 6 months. No, literature review
continuous.
will continue
Yeah,
until the end, and you will keep
yeah.
updating and so on. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
what's important is that try to look. Okay, now what I see missing here from the keyword of phrases is that I see that IT adoption of micro enterprises. Okay, you have IT adoption. Okay, so this is okay. Then and find some more and try to
Yeah,
identify what are the components that you need for the banja to be able to adopt IT, which enhances the businesses, especially the small businesses.
yeah.
Okay.
This is just the areas.
Okay.
Yeah,
A, B, C, D, D. Okay, so this is initial. You will look for more literature here.
yeah,
What
yeah.
what what's this DEF?
DEF,
Oh, okay.
next
This
slide.
is
Yeah,
next slide.
yeah.
Okay, this DEF.
Not enough. Yeah,
Okay, find some more. No, don't worry. Okay, you can find as many as possible.
yeah.
Okay, what you can get.
What really hard in the area, the Banjar and micro enterprise is really rare literature.
Okay. So this is actually
If we include the Banjar, is really rare literature. No, not much we can see about the Banjar
okay.
research.
Okay. Now that doesn't mean that if there is no the banja itself, there's limited writings or articles that really mention about this banja structure, right?
Yeah,
Okay, perhaps that you will look into you can expand to Indonesia,
yeah, sir.
not necessary the banja structure. Yes, the banja structure, if there is very specific on the banja structure, okay, there is specific on the banja structure, but we can actually add some more. So later on, don't worry. Okay, all
Yes, sir.
these areas are flexible. You can have like A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. You can
Yeah.
have many more, but later on, so at the end of the day, when you have many things, you will decide which one that you want to throw away.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, so don't let all this A until F. This is like oh, this is structure, so whatever that I find later on not related to this, I will throw away. Not necessary. It can
Okay.
grow. You can create, suddenly you find this article, this is something that is, oh, I think this will have some input to my research. So you add
Okay.
a new area. No problems, okay? No problems,
Okay, sir.
because this part will grow. Will grow. So let it be flexible. Let it be what we say that this should be organic. Organic means that it can grow. So later on, when there is a lot, then you can decide on, okay, this is not so important. This one, there is lots of overlapping with this one and so on. So you can actually fine tune. You can take out some of the things that you think is not that important. So Don't worry
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the gap that I want to fulfill, sir,
Ah,
because there is no smart Banjar.
ah, ah,
Upside of the smart Banjar is the smart village. So I
okay.
find for this for literature.
Okay, I think this is good. Okay, so meaning a smart village, does it include the businesses side, all these micro enterprises? Does it relates to this?
Yes, there is a modification I made
Ah,
after this slide.
okay,
This is the framework I see from the literature about smart
okay,
village.
okay. Resources, land.
This is the element.
Ah, okay, yes. Technology, institution, sustainable resources. Okay, smart village, service, change resources. Yeah. Okay, does this the concept of smart village in Indonesia, it relates.
TV from India,
TV is from India. Ella, Ella,
many Ella from Indonesia.
Ella from Indonesia.
Yeah, just TV from India. Ella, the third is
Ah,
from Indonesia. Yeah.
okay.
One, this Ella and Andari
Ah,
2019 is focus on ICT
ah.
element that I used to make my initial framework.
Okay, so basically later on, what I see from I think this Ella and Andari is the framework or the model that is proposed by them. I think this is a good start for you. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but I see that the scope is quite large for smart village because it
Yeah.
covers everything. Right,
Yeah.
it covers
Yeah. Yeah.
everything in life, you know.
Yeah.
There's like research institution, educational institutions, you know. uh,
Yeah.
but now you are going to focus on the aspects of this business
Yeah.
micro. So basically what you need to do now is that basically you can take parts of others resources and so on, but you should zoom into this one. You see, you can see that there is like services
That
chain,
one.
this part, you know. Okay, resources, there are some. You see, this is like I say that there's like natural resource, water, energy, but basically we are not
Yeah.
really focusing on anything, but there are some elements such as financial resources, that is
Such as, yeah,
microfinance,
maybe.
that will be
Yeah.
this will support the model. Of course there is technology. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, there is institution, because definitely there will be government will always play a role,
Yeah.
right?
The
So
police
within,
side.
yes,
Yeah, police side.
so within the Banja structure there must be some government control. Okay,
Yeah.
and so on. So basically, of course, you will take the part which is related to the Banja structure, which is you want to focus on the small enterprises, the business part, right? That is
Yes.
you want. So basically, what you can do now is that you can actually start off. I think this is a good model, okay, of the smart village model. But the smart village model covers like everything. Is the scope is very big.
Yeah.
Now what you do is that you need
Okay.
to zoom in. Zoom in. So when you zoom
Yeah.
in, you see this one not will become like a small note. This one now this is very big, right? This becomes very
Yeah. Yeah.
small. This retains
Not all
big.
cover the
uh,
limitation.
it will
Yeah.
be different. Okay, so meaning that the
Yeah.
rest
Yes,
will
sir.
be of support. So the center of this is you have the Banja structure, but here they
Yeah.
call it
Yeah.
smart village. So perhaps you want to
Yeah.
come up with your own name, like
Yeah. Yeah. But
I don't know, smart business or whatever, because we can see that it actually supports this. So what's inside this later on, this will be part of your framework. So these are all related. So you can start off from this, take some of the elements and look into how it actually support each other. Okay, this is good.
Okay.
I like this model.
Yeah. After this, there is a model, the framework, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
still from literature.
Okay. Let me see the literature first because need to understand. Okay. Okay.
Okay. After this, I have my own framework, sir. Yeah, this is I modified and the smart banjar. I see.
Okay, this is a good start. Okay, what I want you to say, let's say that this is your initial framework.
Yes,
You put this as version 1. Always put version. So because this will actually change a lot. So every time it changes, do not change because then we confused. Put this version 1. So if you add another one here, version 1.1, 1.2, if there is like a big change, version 2. See? This is like a software update, 1.1, 1.2 and so on. Okay, what I want you to do for the purpose of our reference, now I see that there is like, okay, non-government, we have all these different elements and so on. I want to know, I want to know actually, okay, somewhere, where is the source of this? Okay, meaning that when you created all this, okay, this is your initial framework. Okay, when you say that, okay, you have this element, customary institution, there is an advisory board. Okay, now let's say that we take this advisory board. From what source that you take from the literature that suggests that there should be an advisory board within your framework?
The previous slide, sir, from literature review.
Yeah, this one?
Yep.
I know, this is one. But if I am to look here, okay, now this is actually, this is for reference. In the thesis, we need to reference, okay, because let's say if I am someone who will, you show me, okay, this is my, this is, you see that this is my initial framework. Okay, let's say I will be asking you, okay, you have advisory board here. How do you know that you have this advisory board? From which literature that you read that you come up to suggest that there is an advisory board here? Where do you get this advisory board? What is the reference?
From the
from literature A. So you need to actually for the purpose of for us to keep track, because now one of the process is that when you propose a model, okay, they want to see that your model, your framework actually comes from the literature. You cannot just sit down, okay, oh, I have this idea, let us have advisory board, just like that. No, people will not look at that. But okay, you see that advisory board, where do you read? What paper do you read to suggest that there should be a advisory board? So put in some citation here.
Yeah, okay.
But the model itself, later on, we can get rid of the citation. But in the process of for us to build the model, we want to see all the citations. Okay, for example, this one. What paper? Okay, you see that you should have a research institution here. What paper do you have? Okay. You have the central and local government. From what model that suggests that there should be a central and local government? So this is all, we want to see the references so that we know that, okay, you come up with this model, okay, based on your reading and your review of the various literature. We can see that here. So that's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. This is the policies.
This is just the workflow I tried to design.
Okay. Now, can I ask you? Perhaps you can think. Where is the technology? Where does you put in the technology inside here?
In the middle of micro enterprise, microfinance, and the Banjar itself.
Because we cannot see.
To perform, I'm sorry, sir.
Ah.
The process essential services. That is about administration
This one.
in terms of Banjar. The
Okay.
bottom, yes.
Huh?
And the local economic potential based service. Jadi every potential based service to connect the people to solve the poverty, that's the part of IT adoption.
Okay. Here. Here.
Yes, I think out there the process of IT play a role.
Okay. Okay, now, because your model is about IT adoption, right?
Yes.
So there must be IT adoption in the model. It must because
Clear.
clear, okay, because this model, the title is there's IT adoption. The model also there is clear IT adoption. So we must be able to see where is the IT adoption. Although you say that
Okay.
yes, this is of course implemented here, and here, but we want to see
Mention in the model.
where is the IT
Okay.
adoption. Similar to something like this just now. You see, there is this
Okay.
one block. So you must have within this your model. Okay, this where is the person now? Okay, IT adoption, but because now this smart village IT adoption is just an enabler because it covers a very large scope. Now, for your
Yeah.
purpose, IT adoption is the central focus of your research. Okay?
Yeah.
So it must be at the center. It cannot be at the side. It must be IT adoption must be at the center because you are focusing on the IT adoption part. How IT adoption plays a role so that it can facilitate and enhances all the other different elements. You get me?
Okay. So I must to draw the IT part in the middle of this
Yes.
framework.
Yes. It must look central. For example, now you see this part smaller. This one, this is not central. I can see that this is like a secondary factor, something that contributes.
Yeah, contributes.
Okay. What I see is the most important thing now is that this part. Okay, now this is
Okay,
micro enterprises, but where is the IT? So what I want you to do is that I want you somehow to think of how can we readjust this model so that this IT adoption can go hand in hand with this micro enterprise and microfinance. So you have this IT adoption and micro enterprise and microfinance. This is in the middle. This is in the middle. Okay, because our title again, okay, if you look at the title, okay, now we have this micro enterprise activity. So this is like micro enterprise and microfinance. And just now we say that we want to have this IT adoption. How does IT adoption actually will actually contribute to all these things. Okay, so these are the
Yeah.
two things. So that's why we will have the central of our model. Okay, the central of our model to have IT adoption, meaning that somewhere here you have banja, IT uh, adoption, and we have micro enterprises. So perhaps you can have, no, you see banja A, B, C, N. Uh, are you trying to say that this is the adoption is within one banja or between banjars?
Between Banjar in between Banjar under the village government,
Okay,
because in one village there is two or more Banjar.
okay. So basically, you have the village government. Now, here we have the banja, right? Within
Yes,
the banja, within the banja itself, there are many activities, not just businesses,
many
right?
activities.
Right? There
Yes,
are. Okay,
yes,
you are focusing on within this banja. Let's say this is the whole banja. Banja is subset of village government in this model.
yeah.
You have micro enterprise and microfinance.
In
What you
each
need to have,
one, yeah,
you have the actually the IT framework here.
yeah,
So you try to think of so that you have within this banja we have micro enterprise, but another one we have IT. So how does this IT actually relates to this?
mm.
Okay, so that we want to see that this IT adoption is basically the central of everything
Okay.
together with
I try
this.
to study more, sir.
Okay, okay, so this is part of the process that you can look into.
Yes, yes, sir. This is just workflow. If
Okay,
we
the
implement
process.
the software, yeah,
Okay, so I think okay, this is good progress. So hopefully that if we have this like every month, you can actually
yeah,
really, okay. So what I hope to see, okay, again, try to actually look into again if there are some other, like I say that in Sweden and so on. How does these micro enterprises, small companies uses the technology to
yeah.
enhance. So look into other countries, okay? And when you look into other countries, you can identify what are the different styles of what we call the different models of doing this. You know, once upon a time, you know IKEA. Of course, you know IKEA. IKEA is worldwide,
Yes,
right?
Finland.
Once upon a time, IKEA is a small company in Sweden.
Yeah,
It's more of not the whole of Sweden. It's this one small town, but later on it grows. You know, it grows. So basically, uh, we can actually look into uh, the prospect of the structure of micro enterprises before it grow into a very international multinational company. How does it actually uses technology to actually to enhance the prospect, yeah, because banja can be inside a small place in a very specific structure in Bali, but perhaps with technology nowadays, you know, now everything is all virtual. Now the world is different today compared to 3 months
yeah.
ago. Okay, and how can this, the use of technology is actually can be used to enhance these enterprises. You know what's happening in Malaysia? Malaysia actually currently now is like we don't call it lockdown because we still can go out to buy food and so on. Okay, there are essential businesses that open. You can go to supermarket and so on. But
Oh,
currently, you can see that now the you have this online ordering of food, and everything is on the rise. Why? Because we cannot go
Nice.
out as easy as we did before. So
Yeah.
basically now, people are actually, there is new models coming up very fast, to the extent that previously you have, one stall near the roadside, selling local food, small one. Now they are thinking, how can I actually sell this, rather than I can just wait by my computer, and when people order, we can ask someone else, grab food or whatever runner, that can actually pick up the food from the home, because this is home business, and
Home business.
to send to those who want to buy. That everything is online, you see. And this is actually the framework is different. And now there is issues, okay. In Malaysia we have similar, like in Indonesia they call it during Ramadan, and
Yeah.
they have mudik, okay. They
Yeah.
go to their villages and so on, okay.
Yeah.
uh, and it is a culture in Malaysia, okay. During Ramadan, okay, people are fasting in the day. So normally starting from, okay, normally we break fast at 7 p.m. So normally starting from 4 p.m, you
4 p.m.
can see there are so many people selling food, okay, just for Ramadan. Like, people are like going crazy,
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
buy everything, everything, you have all the different food.
First thing.
But this year, because of this virus, we are not allowed, these are not allowed. So basically,
Mm.
what has been suggested is that, okay, we do not allow, because there cannot be social distancing. People will crowd together to buy food. So
Yeah.
the problem is not to allow, is we never say that you cannot sell food. The problem is that we cannot allow people to crowd together. The virus
Yeah.
will be easily infected to everyone. So can there be a model, so that, okay, we can still, people, the business people, the small enterprises, those who cook the food at home and try to sell to people, they can still sell using this online, this IT, using IT to be able to sell this. And we at home, we don't have to go out of our home, so that we can order online, and people will send the food to our homes.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is also need a model, because you see, you have people, okay, they don't have this IT expertise, okay. For them,
Mm.
they are just
Yeah.
selling food, they do not know about IT and so on. So is there a framework to allow the business people, the small business people, who have no expertise, no investment in IT, but still they can utilize, adopt this technology, so that they can still sell their products through the online framework, the platform, even though they have almost zero knowledge about IT. So these are the
Yeah.
things that now in Malaysia, people are trying to think of, how can we help all these home businesses. They
Business.
just cook
Yeah.
food at home, and they sell outside their home, but now they cannot sell outside. We do
Yeah.
not allow these roadside stalls to sell. But how can we have this IT platform for them to be able to promote and to sell their products, and we as the consumers to be able to know that they are selling these
Yeah.
products, and we can easily
Yeah.
order their products.
Yeah.
Now that's why currently in Malaysia we don't have that framework. People are still
Yeah.
thinking how to go about. So I think what you may able to think of similar, okay, to your smart banjar concept, okay,
Yeah.
something similar to that, meaning that you cannot force the people, the village people, to be able to be IT savvy. It's impossible. Especially
Yeah.
those who are like 50, 60, still in business, you cannot force them. They will not change. But how can you actually create a framework that adopts IT so that it can benefit the business people within the Banjar structure? So this is what you need to focus. And now I think you are fortunate because the world is changing now today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Previously
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can, but now ini you can use, now the current pandemic worldwide, early March Indonesia zero case. Now it's like, I don't know, 6,000, 7,000. There's
Yeah.
many, okay, and it's
5,000.
like growing like
Yeah.
crazy, and
Yeah.
we cannot do things the way we did previously. So
Yeah.
even education, everything you need to adopt IT. Now this is like online and so
Yeah.
on. So
Everything adopt IT
businesses are that. So
in
I
this
think
pandemic.
you can use the current pandemic as part of your justification why
Justification.
your
Yeah.
work is important.
Yeah.
Okay, and now suddenly, I see that your work is suddenly become very important compared to 6 months ago
Yeah.
because of this current
Because
pandemic.
yeah. Yeah. I have one village agreement, sir.
Yes.
The village is perform online business to the villagers.
Ah,
I try to get data from the transaction. They bought rice, they bought mineral water like that.
yes.
I I I have agreement with the leader of the village
Okay.
to get the data of the transaction, online transaction,
Yeah.
using WhatsApp application.
I think it's good. Yeah, meaning
Yeah.
that the focus just let's say that is similar to, like, let's say currently the traditional way of education. Let's say you go to school, if in the schooling, the way people go to school is that uh, the kids will go to school. There is a physical classroom. There are desks. There is a book and so on. There is a teacher in front, teaching.
Yeah.
So until a certain time, okay, you go back. That is tradition. But when it comes to the pandemic, okay, everything changes. Now people still, okay, how do we do this virtual learning, virtual education? Okay, what
Yeah.
kind of infrastructure, and then we will say that not all families can afford a laptop or a computer and so on. How is it possible to have like a framework to allow all these poor people to have this technology? Okay, so now this is education. So when you go to this like micro enterprises, now business people, okay, maybe people are not coming to Bali as many as they are used to
Yeah.
under some circumstances, okay, but still there are some products, because in enterprise, I'm sure Bali there's lots of like that, the that something that you have given me, this the very nice
Yeah.
artwork,
Yeah.
definitely there are people who are willing to actually, purchase all this, and there are micro enterprises, small home businesses, who actually they are very talented. They produce very nice and quality things, but nobody know about that. So how does your framework, the use of IT, allows the Banja structure to be able to actually synergize all these things, the microfinance, micro enterprises, the organization, to be able to actually sell the product better, okay? To have a better supply chain in terms of, you can purchase, you want to sell something, you need something else, okay? You have to purchase and so on. So all this is ecosystem. How does it work under this your framework? So these are the things that you need to put into, and this will become your framework. And justification is very strong justification now because the world is changing. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
okay, everything now is like you need to move towards this, and you can actually, in your problem statement after this, okay, you can modify, try to relate this to this pandemic.
Pandemic. Okay.
Why your work is significant, because you are
Yeah.
looking forward, and at the end of the day, okay, people do not have to come to Bali to buy things from Bali. You see, we can be elsewhere and still that we think that Bali is just next door. You know, because we can purchase, and within a few days or 1 week or so, you can get the things from Bali sent to you. So this
Okay.
is as though as we are visiting Bali. But of course, if you want to go to the beach, you need to come to Bali. But
Okay.
but the rest
Of
of the
course.
things, okay, you can just use technology. So you need to look into this kind of focus. Then I think that your work is very important now.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
I'm looking forward to this. And suddenly, when I was thinking, wow, I think you have suddenly, you strike gold. Suddenly, although I do think that your work is important, but now it's like very, very vital.
Very vital.
Vital, because without this, you'll never know. This is just COVID-19. There may be
Yeah.
COVID-20, COVID-21,
Yeah. Maybe. Yes.
different virus.
But we don't hope like that.
We don't hope, but we must prepare. But later on, still, even though if there's everything goes well, but once people are familiar with this, people may not want to go back. For example, in UniKL now, uh, UniKL has decided, okay, for the undergraduate students, okay, at least until September this year, there will be no physical class at all. Even after
Oh.
in June, okay, maybe the government will say, okay, there's no more restriction movements. People can come back to the building and so on. Okay, but UniKL has decided that, okay, that is in the past. Okay, the main mode of teaching and learning now is virtual.
Okay.
Previously, virtual is like, okay, do you want to do it virtual? So meaning that it's like, okay, just like 5% to 10% only wants to do that. But
Yeah.
now, this is like 90%, only like 10% they say that, okay, we cannot do virtual because they still need to go to the workshop, they need this physical thing. So something like that. So but they also try to minimize the things. Okay, so basically now things are changing. So
Changing,
I
yeah.
think this IT is now has become very, very important to everyone. So
Yeah.
now you
Yeah.
are fortunate enough, I say fortunate enough, to actually
The
be
pandemic
in
made
this.
me.
Now you have something that for me is very valuable, regardless of whether things are, I think, God willing, things will be better in the future after they have come up with a vaccine and so on. But even if things are not getting better, I think people are starting to be comfortable with, because previously,
Yeah.
we actually, if I am to buy McDonald's, McDonald's,
Yes.
okay, we drive through,
Fast
we
food.
go to the, but now nowadays, no, okay, we just, okay, you just order online, they will send at home.
Yeah.
And of course,
And
we,
they will,
we need
yeah.
we need to pay a little bit more. That's part of the use of the platform and so on. But I think it is comfortable at the comfort of our home. We don't waste time, so
Yes.
people are willing to pay more for this comfort. And I think that if you are to come up with a very suitable framework that take into consideration that within your society, not everyone has the means to purchase infrastructure. Okay, then even small businesses without just with very limited IT knowledge can benefit from this, then you have a winner there.
Yes.
So you need to think of that. So I think your work is very important now, more important so compared to what I even crossed my mind last time we saw. But now suddenly, I see like, this is potential. This is very important. And you
I
have,
need your support, sir.
and you
To
need,
finish this, I need your full support.
yes, then I think you need to put in, think of those within the society. They have small businesses. They are very limited IT knowledge and infrastructure. Try to think a solution for them. So if you can
Yeah.
think a solution to them, that will be something that of a success, because you have someone previously almost no IT, now they are using IT. So this is a big jump adoption.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and
Yes.
it can shows this is as a, and in terms of how you validate, perhaps later on, let's say you come up with a framework, you can do a test case. You try to get a few businesses as a case study. Try to implement your framework to them.
Yeah.
Can your framework works, and take into consideration that, try to put in that the businesses must not invest a lot in IT. So we don't want for them to actually to benefit. They have to buy all these computers. They have to buy.
Yeah.
We don't want that. So very minimal,
Very simple. Yeah.
and then still they can benefit a lot. So that will be a success.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you have a very, very good and interesting project now. So
Thank you,
I
sir.
never
Yes.
thought of this, but yeah, I think things happen, and now this is you. Now this is your time to shine. You have everything pushing you towards doing this. Not just for your PhD. This will benefit your society. That's more important for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, I think you have anything else? I think this is enough for you to work on for 1
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I think it's all.
Thank you.
Abu Bakar.
Yes, sir.
And currently also you can think of now your health information system. Okay.
Yeah.
Not just for the organization.
Yes.
Try to look for now the people, the normal people. Okay.
Yes.
Let's assume that I don't want to suggest, it's of course not good, but we must actually consider that one day, Libya will be like the rest of the world. COVID does not
Yeah.
know any religion, does not know whether you are rich or poor. Okay.
Yes.
If you are
Correct.
infected, you are infected. Perhaps
Yes.
the infection rate to the African continent is a little bit slow compared to
Yes.
Europe and US, but you can see what's happening in the US. Okay, even
Yes.
so, what you can do, perhaps within your health information system and so on, is it possible for you to consider some aspect that can the health services can directly go to the normal people? So I'm just actually throwing ideas here,
Yeah.
rather than it's just the Ministry of Health, the big hospitals, but perhaps
Yeah.
small things you can benefit the people on the ground. Okay, in the small villages can actually benefit from this health information system in a
Yes.
way and manner that is suitable for the needs of these people, small ones. You can
Yeah, yeah.
consider that.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Actually, Actually, I'm focusing on the integration.
Yeah.
Integration means that they are talking about the stakeholders, what the stakeholders, people,
Yeah.
patients, physician,
Yeah.
and the government and charities. So the integration will be covering everything and different level and different interesting. So one of these, the main factors to understand what stakeholders interest in.
Mhm.
So I will try to cover all of these, inshallah.
Yeah, and even I think something that can be, I think this is something that is, because now we have this unique situation, this pandemic. They say that every 100 years, this
Yeah.
like a major thing. The last time was 100 years ago. Okay, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
big thing.
Yeah.
Why don't you actually, now this is like an extra work for you, but rather than, why
Yeah.
don't you look into, under the circumstances that we have this pandemic, and Bill Gates said about this 5 years ago. He
Yeah.
predicted that 5 years ago, he predicted
Yeah.
that now there will be something like this. And now
Yeah.
people are accusing him of, no, this virus, actually Bill Gates created the virus. Because how did he know 5 years ago? But that is a,
Yeah.
but you know, why don't you look into, apart from the things that you want to do, if you want to make your work unique and very current, okay,
Okay.
what kind of health information system that would be beneficial under this current pandemic situation, you know? What kind of health
Yeah.
information system? Because sometimes, you know, previously health information is just for the people, is just for the government. They do not share information. We, the public,
Yeah.
we will not know anything. But now,
Yes.
under this pandemic, there are some information that we as the public, we want to know. Okay, for example, you know,
Yeah. For people.
like, because where are you now? Are you in Kuantan now?
No, no, KL is still in KL.
You in KL. You see
Yeah, I
that
stay here.
there are parts of KL and Selangor, they are like red area, you know, green zones,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
we don't have green. They're like red. Red is like there's lots of
Yellow.
many infection, you know. And
Yeah.
now even what kind of structure framework that allows some form of information. This is a medical information, and we know that medical information is like, is all private, is you cannot share just that, but some information needs to be able to share with the public.
People. Yeah.
Okay, like for example, in some countries they know that, okay, in some areas there are people many people who are infected. So
Yeah.
we have a right to be able to actually, no, I'm going to stay away from this particular place because there are a lot of infection. So perhaps you can consider some needs of the people, how things change, okay, under this pandemic situation. Okay, under this pandemic situation, and your health information system will be different.
Yeah. I catch the idea. Yeah, I will try to do this.
Yeah, this I
I will
think
do
this is the things, because now, because
Yeah.
one of, okay, I think doing PhD, one of our concern being a PhD, and one of our fears, my fears too, when I was a candidate,
Yeah.
I keep asking myself, is what I am doing is novel? People will ask, where is the novelty of your work? Where is the uniqueness of your work? Oh, your work. Okay, many people have done this work before. So why are you doing this? People will throw that question to you, and then when people actually throw that question to you, and you feel down. You know why? Because, oh, this
Yeah.
professor said that, okay, there are 1,000 people out there has done this particular model. So what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah,
There's
correct.
nothing special about this. There's nothing unique. And then they will say that, okay, if this is unique, is it important? Okay, if they will ask, okay, if you do not create your framework now, your model now, what will happen to the world? and you will say nothing. And then they say that,
Yeah.
so why are you doing this? Why are you wasting like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years of your life to do things if this is not important? You know, some examiners are mean, you know. They will
Yeah.
actually insult you to the extent that you feel that,
Yeah.
what am I doing now? What am I doing? I'm
Yeah.
asking. But
Yeah.
if you can actually somehow relate, like I say that this pandemic, end of
Yeah.
2008, we only see the effects, you know, the impact to 2020. Now you are at the beginning of, this will not die soon. This will actually
Yeah.
do. Okay?
Yeah.
So how does your health information system changes under this new world?
Yeah. Under this.
You see, like in Korea, you see, in Taiwan, they contact you see that how they contact tracing. They have all this link. They use, even uses mobile application and so on, so that they can actually know that, okay, if one person has infected, they can identify with the use of technology, okay, the mobile, the location, the GPS location and so on, who else, other people who are within range of this infected person at a particular time. Why? So that those people who did not realize that this person is infected can be warned that you are
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
particular date and at particular time, you are within this small, let's say, ATM machine, this small area, and
Yeah.
this person is very close to you. So why don't you want to come to have a checkup, test whether you are infected or not, because you are within the proximity of this infected person. They are using technology now, and
Yes.
this
Yes.
all actually relates to health information system, and it is related to integration of information, because
Yes.
you have information comes from the GPS, from the mobile location. You have, even to the extent that, from the, even you have credit card, you know, for example,
Yeah.
you have, they somehow they can link between the mobile location, time of the person, compared to, or for example, this particular another person within the area is actually withdrawing cash from the ATM machine, which is very close
Yes.
to this person. You see, information from the transaction of ATM machine, it is integrated with the mobile, the location from the
Location.
mobile device, and they
Yes.
know
Yeah.
that, oh, A and B is close by at this particular time, and A is infected. So B, there is a risk for this B to be infected too. You see?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I'm suggesting, not to throw away all those things, but just to put in the mindset that now the the things are changing. What's important then may not be as important today,
Today.
and what is
Yes.
very important today, people have not even heard of
Involved.
such things
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say,
I can
the use
see.
of ATM, they
Yeah.
want to track with this
Yeah.
person, GPS. No, nobody cares about that. But suddenly now this becomes very important. Then this is integration of health-related information. So how does your
Yeah.
framework can allow such thing happen, but at the same time can actually protect the privacy and confidentiality of personal information?
Yeah.
You see, this is, I think
Yeah.
this is part of health information system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Prof.
you may want to
Yeah.
look into this, and if you can somehow focus on this area, because like I say, health information system is very large, the scope is very big. If you can focus in a very focused manner, do not cover a lot, just zoom in one area
Yeah.
and go deep, That will be something unique, and I think nobody has even thought about that. And your work,
yeah,
you will see that is unique, it is
yes,
novel, and it is significant.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm trying to do this regarding my systematic literature review
Yeah,
to
yeah,
find the specific area that I can focus on in creating my model.
yeah. So
Yeah,
what I'm saying that I'm just throwing ideas to you, but out
yeah,
of
yeah.
100% respect to Dr.
Yeah.
Abdul Aziz, he is the
Yes,
main
sure,
supervisor.
sure.
But sometimes,
Right.
I think one of the biggest fears of not just the candidate, the supervisors also, is that
Yeah,
we are afraid of, so that you have someone come to you and see that, okay, fine, I see your work, you have done very good job, systematic review, you have developed your framework, but I see that this is like, oh, many people has done this before. Okay, it's not unique. Yeah, what's so special about this? So, but if you don't do this, the world will not die. Things will go on
yes,
even with or without your work,
yeah,
and it's not
yes, yes, correct.
important. So that is the biggest fear, and the things that we
Yeah,
want to say is that, okay, we want that people can, oh, your work, the scope is not so big, but oh, we see it's important, oh, it's very current,
yeah,
and it takes into consideration what's happening now and what's important now, and it can be
yeah,
used, can be beneficial in the near future.
yes,
That's the biggest thing, that
yes,
if you can actually prove that, people can forgive you many things.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Although
yeah,
the
correct.
systematic, there are weaknesses here and there, but if your work is like very important, okay,
Yeah,
and then people will forgive you because they see the importance of your work. Although it's not
yeah,
100% perfect, it is of
yeah,
importance, and
yeah,
people
correct.
want your work. And I actually, even now, I was like very interested, but of course difficult to get the information. How
Yeah,
do they conduct contact tracing? Okay, contact tracing, especially in Taiwan, and in Korea, they use big data, they use technology, and different kind of integration of information, so that
yeah,
this can be, is like a real time uh, information to the
yeah,
health authorities, how to actually take steps to control this possible spread.
yeah,
Okay, like for example,
yeah,
in Indonesia, they have this term mudik. Mudik meaning during Ramadan they will somehow go back to their hometowns. From Jakarta,
yeah,
it's like Jakarta is like 8 million or 10 million. Suddenly, everyone goes back to the whole of Indonesia.
yes,
So
yeah,
somehow, if there is a particular structure and framework to allow and it integrates big data they use on mobile, they know that, okay, this person later on is detected from Jakarta. It goes back
yes,
to, for example, to Palembang. Palembang is in Sumatra. Okay,
yeah,
and suddenly, the result, somehow they detect, oh, he has this COVID-19 positive. Okay, it can track who else in Palembang has in contact
Yeah.
with this
yeah,
particular person from Jakarta, just
yeah,
by taking data
technology.
from the mobile location
Yeah,
services,
yeah,
because now many people are using a smartphone. They have location,
yes,
who is in contact at the
yeah,
particular time, and so on, so that if the government can do contact tracing, they can
yeah,
easily identify who. Okay, even is close, they can have a system so that they can have like SMS text messages automatically
yes,
sent to those who are in a close proximity with that positive case. Send that, okay, you has been close to a person, there's a message, please come to the nearest
medical
health
center.
clinic, some clinic, government
Yeah,
clinic, for you to get
yeah,
tested. You see,
yeah, yeah,
we have this
yeah,
particular system which, like, is no need to manual, even auto. They can automatically, when we trigger, okay, this patient, this A person is positive, there is a system that we can trigger, automatically those other phones with close proximity will get this message automatically. And this, when they get the message, they are encouraged to come forward to the some of the designated centers to get tested, for example, or perhaps to take precaution, meaning that, okay, asking that, okay, if you have like fever, okay, high temperature above 37.5, if you have coughing, you have the symptoms, okay, please come to the nearest one, because you has been based on our data, you has been nearby to a person with positive COVID-19. So you see, this is the structure. So if you can, I'm not asking for you to do that, but it's interesting. So these things, okay, this is something that people are looking for, because at the end of the day, you know, this is about survival, health. Your health information is about life, okay. About your banja structure, this is about survival of the people during this pandemic. People are locked down, but people still need to go on with their life. How does IT can facilitate this? So these are the things that I think if you can somehow link your research to within the scope of pandemic that we are experiencing now, perhaps you will be one of the earliest people who will produce a PhD related research based on this.
I understand.
See? And nobody can argue that this is not significant, because this is survival during the pandemic, which kills like hundreds of thousands of people now worldwide. So I think this take this opportunity. We are not happy of, you know, people are very difficult times for everyone, even for my family, you know, because actually my son actually is a doctor. He actually quit his job as a medical officer. The plan was he wants to open his own private clinic, and he was supposed to start the operation of this clinic 1st of April. But but now we have discussed it, and no. I say that no, because he has invested. Okay, the clinic is ready actually. Just there is fear, because then I say that now, if the infection people are still a lot, how do you know that one day that you open your clinic now, people coughing, and normally people come to clinic because they have cough, they have fever. How do you know? How can you tell that those people are not COVID positive?
COVID-19.
It's so easy to get infected. So I say that, okay, let us consider 1st of June. 1st of June, start your clinic, because he is just opening. He's supposed to, the opening of the clinic is 1st of April. Then I say let's delay for 2 months, see how it goes. So if everything goes down, then you can start your clinic. Don't take the risk. And you see that now for 2 months there's no salary for him, because he actually resigned. He resigned his work because he is supposed to start the clinic 1st of April. So it's a difficult times, and at the same time he is renting the building. He has to pay. He is renting the building. So now when you rent building, you cannot operate. You still have to pay the rent. This is the same thing. So this is tough for everyone, but I think you take this opportunity. This is once, I say to you, this is once in every 100 years for you to use this pandemic for use this for your own benefit. Okay, for your own benefit. See, so take this. But unfortunately for another of your friend, okay, he's doing like tourism. Tourism is finished. Okay, now tourism is like badly terribly. Tourism is is sad. I think
Yeah.
it's very very tough for them. But
Yes.
hopefully things
Yeah.
will be better. Especially Bali. Bali is a tourism. People are from, but now I think even Bali they are thinking of many times if do they allow people from Italy to come? Do they people allow people from US to come?
Yeah.
They are all infection people. So you are
Like
afraid,
those.
okay, afraid. So it's like, should I open, should I not? So especially Bali
Yeah.
is 100% like, not 100%, but mostly Bali is known for tourism. So
Yeah,
when,
70% our revenue from tourism,
yeah,
sir.
and
70%.
everything
That's big.
closes down, there's no business.
Yeah. 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 Very
The
difficult.
chain, the chain of businesses will die. Nobody
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
in. I'm not sure whether does Indonesia still allow flight from foreign countries to come to
No,
Bali? No, so there's no
no.
business, and
Yeah.
so it's very difficult for people. So hopefully we can recover very soon.
Yeah. Inshallah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Hopefully. Yeah.
I hope that the Indonesian government will
Yeah.
be more responsible in the reporting, because I know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they know about this, but they are not sharing the information.
Yeah.
We have
Hopefully.
in Malaysia, actually the rate of infection is going down. Okay, now
Yeah.
the latest, we only that new
About
positive,
the.
the whole of Malaysia yesterday, we have only 57 new
Yes.
cases.
Yeah.
Out of 57, one third of these new cases comes from Indonesia. We have students from somewhere, okay, students,
Yeah.
they return to Malaysia, and for those, anyone who returns to Malaysia, they will be screened, they will be
Yeah.
tested, and they will be quarantined at a quarantine
Correct.
centers. And even
Yeah.
yesterday only, we have like one third of infection actually comes from Indonesia. And we were thinking that how is it that these people were not detected in Indonesia? So
Mm.
that's a big question mark. Yesterday was like 15 or 16 out of 57. The previous day was 40 plus from Indonesia. So the detection. So what we see is that there's lots of infection across the society in Indonesia, but it's not being reported, and they themselves do not know that they are infected. Perhaps they don't have any symptoms or very mild symptoms. They don't get tested. So it's very worrying. But I do hope that the only way for us to get safely together is that we cannot hide anything. So if we hide something just to make people say, oh, see, I have zero case and so on, but actually we have case, then we are just like, this is like a time bomb. It will explode in our faces. That's the only way. So I hope that things will be better. Okay, now is everything is
Hope.
nice. So hopefully the Indonesian government will now be more
Yes.
aggressive in the process of testing. You need to isolate, you need to quarantine. How does currently, just to share with our Indonesian friends, in Malaysia
Yeah.
now there's no tourists, because we nobody can come to Malaysia now. Okay, the
Mm.
hotels are suffering, and even local visitors also, local tourists also cannot, because we cannot go here and there. Okay, we'll stay at home.
Good.
So what the government is offering them is that, okay, the government is offering to pay a certain amount, like for each unit of room, hotel, the government is willing to pay 150 ringgit, if I'm not mistaken, or 130 ringgit, for them
Yeah.
to use that particular room, the hotel rooms, to be a quarantine center.
Yeah.
So they will actually provide the food and the room, although it's not as it is, the payment is not like you go to the hotel. But the hotels take the offer rather than have nobody in the hotels. They
Yes.
allow their hotels to be used as quarantine center. So
Yeah.
anyone, Malaysian or otherwise, who comes into Malaysia and they are quarantined and they only have mild symptom, or even they don't have symptom, they are quarantined, they need to be quarantined 14 days. Although they have negative, they still need to be quarantined. They can go to hotels. So they will
Yeah.
be happier. So meaning that you are not quarantined like in a very small area which is not comfortable. You are quarantined in a hotel, in a hotel room, and
Yeah.
Not in
the
prison.
food is being served to you. The only thing is that you
Yeah.
cannot go out. That's it for 14 days. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is like like win-win situation. At the same time, although there's no people coming in the hotels, but at least the hotels can have some payment from the government, okay,
Yes.
and the hotel people have some work to do, okay.
Yeah.
The government at the can use existing facilities for quarantine center so that these people will
Yeah.
not spread to the community, and at the same time those who has been quarantined is more comfortable because they are staying at a hotel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
like a win-win
Yes.
situation for everyone. So this
Yeah.
is actually, if you want to talk about
Yes.
this is also a model, a quarantine
Yeah.
framework
Yeah.
model, and how it's like to win collaboration between tourist operators and so on, so that it can be used using pandemic. So these are all framework. Okay, so this is
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
interesting
Yeah.
concepts. Okay,
Yeah.
so hopefully that I think everything is well. Unfortunately, I cannot see your friend another one, so hopefully we can have
Yeah.
discussion. Okay, but I hope that I will try my best to fix
Yeah.
every month,
Yeah.
every third week of month. So meaning that today is 22nd of April, perhaps we can have something sometime like 20th or 20 to 25 of
Yeah.
May. Okay,
Yeah.
or perhaps before Hari Raya in Malaysia,
Yes.
before 8.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can have another too. So we have every month now. So although
Yeah.
you do not
Yeah.
need to come
This
to
is
Kuala Lumpur. So if you want to go back to
Yes.
Libya, you can also go back to Libya, but we can have this kind of communication. No
Yeah. We
problem.
have. We have.
Okay.
But it's so difficult to go back now to Libya.
Uh, okay. So basically, okay lah. I'll see you. So whatever is whatever things that, okay. I also have recorded partial, but not before I commented on Abu Bakar's slide. I will publish this to YouTube. Okay,
Yeah.
I can
Please.
share you the link. So
Please.
whatever that I have partial recording. So
Yeah.
perhaps Dr. Abdul Aziz can actually, together we can, yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope that my friend from Indonesia, he can share with me what he recorded. Unfortunately, I don't know how to record up to now.
I myself, I heard that people record, but I have actually, I'm still learning on this technology. It's a new thing for me. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah.
We are all
Just
learning.
now, just now, I know how to record. That's why this is my mistake. I failed to record all the session. So I hope that my friend from the Indonesia,
Yeah.
he will share with us the recording.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I will upload the video and I will share the link.
Okay.
after
Okay.
this.
Thank
you.
Okay, thank you very much. So
Thank you.
I'll see you
Thank
next
you.
month. But if you have questions, you can WhatsApp me.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
brother.
Bye.
See you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Stay
much.
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.
See you. Take
Have a nice